Hi.
I work with people with mental health problems, and
You work with people with mental health problems, yes.
and
And you have some yourself?
well,
Oh, certainly not. That's all right, everyone here does too.
but
Yes.
I see.
He'll take care of this.
Oh,
Now, you relax. You relax. Look here.
Okay.
Stay with.
Well, you know,
Okay.
most of my clients, they're in the victim role, and
Yes.
they are very self-destructive, and then
Yes.
we try to.
Is that familiar? Just take a moment. That is a mental health problem, isn't it?
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
it makes me sad.
Yes.
If I see people destroy their opportunities, it makes me sad, and
So
I don't
you
know what to
become
do with it.
victimized by their victim story.
That's correct. I want them to do good for themselves.
Yes. You want them so they'll stop bothering you with their victim story. I know what you mean. I wish you would wake up so I could take a walk.
I want them to be happy.
Yes, be happy, damn it. You're bringing me down again. I can relate to your story. Can relate to it. It's an edge, isn't it? It's an edge to work with people who are suffering greatly.
Who want to suffer? It's like
Yes, who want to
they
suffer,
hold
and
on
you don't
to
want to
it.
suffer,
They hold
and you
on
have
to
to.
it.
So
They-
how is it
I
you
don't
are
get it.
suffering?
Why do they do that to
I'm
themselves?
pointing to how it is they do it.
Why do they do that?
They
to
do it
themselves?
exactly the same reason you do it to yourself.
Oh, I'm usually trying to be happy.
But not right now. Well, same thing. They're trying to be happy. They're trying to be happy, very desperately. So how is it, though, I'm quite serious in this, how is it their suffering makes you unhappy? What is it you have to do with their suffering to make yourself unhappy with it?
Well, it's their suffering, I suppose.
Well, that's true. That's fine. We know that. But there's something that happens that makes it your suffering. And I just want to know what that is. Because then you will have a real cue or clue as to what the dynamic that they try to be happy and can't be happy, how that operates.
Maybe letting go of the sense to be responsible for the
No,
happiness.
no, this is, now you're looking for a solution. I'm asking you to look and see what is the mechanism. What is the mechanism in your thought process? What is the moment where their suffering makes you unhappy? I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I don't think it is a bad thing. So I'm not saying it's something you should correct. I think it's actually quite useful. Then you get to experience unhappiness, and that actually, your heart can break even wider. So I'm not saying correct this, but your question to me was, why is it they do this? How is it they do this? And the answer to that is found in how and why you do this.
Okay.
So are you aware of some story that you tell yourself about, you take a particular client in your mind that after you have been with, you're sad because they won't get off it or they won't stop suffering? What do you tell yourself?
Well, I tell myself this is an intelligent person, and
Yes.
they ought to know this is tries to be spiritual.
Yeah.
Reads literature, so they ought to know their God and live as if they were.
That's right.
And how come they can't translate what they know into their actions?
Yeah, so now we're speaking of the paradox. This is brought exactly the point of our meeting today. This is an intelligent being who has had experiences of God, spiritual experiences, and yet still they continue to be unhappy, to suffer. They can see what they do. They can see the consequences of what they do. So we're not speaking of someone who can't see that.
No, I'm talking about intelligent people.
Yes, good. I'm happy you are, because that's where the paradox is.
Yes.
So if you don't fix this paradox in yourself or in them, just for a moment, I love that your work is to fix it. But just for this moment, you don't fix it with philosophy and you don't fix it with religion. You don't fix it with what they should be doing. You don't fix it with what they are doing. You just meet the paradox. Here is intelligence and gross ignorance, because you're speaking of ignorance.
Yeah.
How is it that the two coexist?
Yeah. I don't know.
That's the beginning. And in that saying, I don't know, is there an energy that you feel or an emotion?
Yeah. I don't want to say sadness.
But there is.
Yeah.
There is sadness there, I can see it. Yes, there's nothing wrong with that. What's wrong with sadness? You see, in our simplistic view of spirituality, we keep sadness out. But what if you invite this sadness that is there in closer? What if you meet this sadness with your full being, with your full intelligence? Not with spiritual or psychological or philosophical shields, but just directly. What? What's that?
I get like a slide, a downward slide.
Yes. So let's go down. We go together.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's drop in something deeper even than sadness.
I don't want to.
I know. I understand that. But just for the purposes of investigation, for discovering a why and a how that has not been discovered, let's go together where you don't want to go.
Okay.
What are you experiencing?
Like hopelessness.
Yes, that's right. That's deeper even than sadness. So let us go into hopelessness just as you went into sadness. Not keeping it out because it's not spiritual, it's not intelligent, it's not psychologically hip, but just to meet it. Not indulging it with some story, but meeting it with your intelligence.
It feels like dissolving of everything. Everything is dissolving, and there's no more form.
Yes, let it go. Just for our purposes. Let it all go. In this experience of dissolution, which is different from a theory of dissolution in the direct experience.
Well, actually, for me that's okay.
It feels all right, doesn't it?
For me it does.
For everyone.
It's like, well, who
It feels
cares,
great.
really?
Really, but not a casual who cares. It's really,
No,
it's
it's
a
like-
beautiful experience.
Yeah,
It's an
absolutely.
experience of joy and laughter.
yeah. Yeah, it's
So-
the opposite of control.
Yes. So you have clearly experienced that in other realms,
Oh, yeah.
but in this realm of like being with your clients or being with aspects of yourself without the shield of either substance or practice or mantra or amulet or ritual, without the shield of that, and there's nothing wrong with any of that. It all has its place, it's all beautiful, it all serves. But in a moment of just nakedly meeting what hasn't been met, then there is another opportunity for dissolution.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not bad.
At the very least, it's not bad. And in the beginning of not wanting to go there, there's a sense of it's bad. Yes, that's right. That's right. I don't want to go there. That's right. So we go together. In a moment. While you have resisted, even without knowing it, or resisted in others, as you were speaking, in your clients, their suffering, their sadness. If there's resistance to it, doesn't matter if it's in them or if it's in you, it's really all the same. There's a possibility to meet it in a deeper, conscious, naked way that has nothing as the cause of the dissolution other than the meeting. I used to love to do acid in the 70s.
Me too.
You look like it. I'm sort of, trying to pass here. Well, I only did it 4 or 5 times, but it was incredible. And I was telling somebody the other day, there were lots of incredible aspects to it, but the most incredible, the most lasting, incredible, useful aspect was that if I struggled against it as it started to come on, it's like, oh my God, I forgot. This is big. I shouldn't have done this. This was a mistake. Not today. It's the wrong setting. I was in hell. And it got worse and worse and worse. In a moment of, okay, it happened. It's here. It's in the system. It'll last as long as it lasts. I'm here with it. There's bliss. Better than not bad. There's clarity, there's seeing, because surrender has occurred. When everything was to say no. In a moment, it's like, well, okay. So if you've never done acid, it's like having a baby. I've also told this story when I had my first baby. I was 25 years old, but I was a really young 25 years old, and I was having my pregnancy and everything was fine, and then it came time to have the baby and I had labor pains. And it was like, what? This is really big. This is huge, and this is impossible. And I had no idea it would hurt like this. Not a clue that it would hurt like this. And I made a mistake and I would like to get out of it. I actually had that thought. It came up, this is a mistake. Wait a minute. But there's also, with the stupidity, there's some intelligence. So it's like, you can't get out of it. It's too late. You made the mistake 9 months ago. So, you can surrender. You can surrender. In those days, it was surrender to the drugs that they gave you, so you didn't feel anything. But before the drugs came on, there was a moment of just, okay, it's here. I'll meet it. And in that, it doesn't mean there's not pain. It doesn't mean that you don't have to see something you didn't want to see, and what you see is painful. It can be intensely painful. But the paradox is that in the seeing of it, without it going away, without it needing to go away, it goes away. And with it needing to go away, it stays. It's so beautiful, actually, what occurred up here. Really beautiful. You're not sad anymore, and that's beautiful. It was the sadness itself, the meeting of the sadness itself that revealed this. So in our feeling not sad, we think, usually, oh good, sadness is gone, I hope it doesn't come back, because it was sadness that was the problem. Sadness is not the problem. The paradox is not the problem. That's a good one. The paradox is not the problem. We could make a bumper sticker out of that. Huh? Don't, though. Please. The problem is not the problem. It's a relationship. It creates a problem. It's a relationship of grasping or rejecting. Very basic. And we are programmed, very basically, to grasp and reject. That's part of the program. The invitation is to not bend in either direction for 1 instant, and then not bend in either direction that is revealed in that 1 instant. Then grasping and rejecting also are not a problem. This will never be figured out logically, ever. Although if you do, you let me know. It's possible.